Anakin Skywalker is one of the most well-known movie characters to exist. He's been brought to life by a multitude of actors, each adding their own flavor to his portrayal. Join me in this video as we analyze his story by comparing the character in the prequels versus the animated Clone Wars, and why they don't entirely feel the same.
Oh, I can't take all the credit. Your state of helplessness really sold them on my surrender talk.
Always glad to help, my friend.
One of the main reasons of why George Lucas wanted to create an animated show during the Clone Wars was to further explore the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. And I think it had a lot to do with how Ben Kenobi describes his former Padawan in A New Hope.
He was the best star pilot in the galaxy, and a cunning warrior, and he was a good friend.
Two details the prequels really didn't have enough time to delve into as a result of George having to focus on other aspects, like Anakin's toxic personality as well as his relationships with Padme and Palpatine.
My loyalties lie with the Chancellor, and with the Senate, and with you.
The movies predominantly adopt a perspective centered on Anakin's descent into darkness, portraying him as immature, jealous, impatient, and consumed by love.
I hate them!
Subsequently, after Episode 1, we catch only fleeting glimpses of the warm, loyal, and kind-hearted individual that Kenobi reminisces about in Episode 4, making it kind of hard to understand how he so easily could be redeemed and made a Force ghost after his passing in Return of the Jedi. And this is where Clone Wars joins the picture, and in my humble opinion does a superior job of presenting a more balanced portrayal of this complex character.
You're reckless, little one. You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan. But you might make it as mine.
The decision of giving the Chosen One a Padawan at first seemed out of place, but it was a smart move, mainly because of how it challenged Anakin to not be selfish. It made him showcase his abilities as a leader, made him likable and actually relatable. The Clone Wars series delves deeply into his relationships, providing fans with a richer understanding of his complex, anxious yet faithful personality, giving the audience insight into why people closest to him held Anakin in such a high regard.
R2 is more than a droid. He's a friend. I refuse to let Ahsoka die. She will find a way out. This is Rex, my first in command. You won't find a finer or more loyal trooper anywhere.
Thank you, Master.
You're welcome, my Padawan.
Yet just as the prequels, the signs of his inevitable turn is all over the place, growing as the seasons progressed. Sometimes it becomes almost too obvious that they're setting him up, like in the movies, but mostly it's done in a smooth and logical way, like for instance the slave arc,
Zygerian scum.
the Mortis trilogy,
I will do such terrible things.
the Clovis arc, and the Obi-Wan Undercover episodes.
How many other lies have I been told by the Council? And how do you know that you even have the whole truth?
Given the extensive nature of Clone Wars as a series spanning over 100 episodes, it's understandable why Anakin feels like a more developed character within it. It had the time to slowly pick him apart through a number of different circumstances, thus rendering his decisions more authentic. I don't think Anakin in the movies versus Anakin in the Clone Wars feels exactly like the same person. After all, there are different actors who interprets the role, adding their own individual style to it. Like I said, I think his depiction in Clone Wars aligns more closely with George Lucas' envisioned character, but I have to mention that the further the show progresses, the writers does a great job of turning him into the Anakin we quote-unquote know from the films, with the Order 66 scene as the pinnacle example, when they mix the voice of Hayden Christensen with Matt Lanter, who voices him in Clone Wars. I see it as George examined the aspects he hadn't explored fully with Anakin in the prequels, and aimed to delve deeper into them in the show. That's why his love for Padme isn't as prominently highlighted, unlike in episode 2 and 3 where it's a central focus. It also differs from the Clone Wars we got in 2003, where the entire show aired before the release of Revenge of the Sith, providing a more straightforward setup for the Chosen One. In the end, the Clone Wars only enhanced the story we already had. Could it have been done differently? Sure. If you look at the 2003 version, there is still a few details I would have liked to see. For example, how Anakin became knighted, and the phenomenal lightsaber battle between him and Ventress, showcasing how powerful he is and his ability to tap into the dark side. Yet there is so much creative stuff this show did right that made the Chosen One's story more believable, more symbolic, and more tragic. Here is another video of a Clone Wars character done right. Click on it to learn more. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will have a great day.